we have our stock here, and let's just remind ourselves what we're going to do. We're going to design the bottom on this side and the top on the other side. The reason we're going to do that is we want to be able to use the geometry that we create for the bottom and project it up to the front and use that to make the top, because the top and the bottom obviously are very similar. They have to have certain features that are that mate together very precisely. So that's why we would approach it this particular way, to create the bottom of the box here on the front of the stock and the top of the box on the other side. At any rate, let's begin by first removing at least 1/8 of an inch from the periphery of the box down to a certain depth, which I'll explain in a minute. The reason we want to do that is we don't want to have any part of the stock be part of our box. We want to mill around it so that we get into the interior of the box, and that way the exact dimensions of the stock don't matter. These are nominally 4 by 3 by 2, nominally meaning in name, but they're pretty close, but they're not exact. So that's what we're going to be doing first. So I'm going to create a sketch on the front face, which is again my bottom. I'm going to use a tool that I find very convenient, and that is the offset tool on the modify panel. And so I'm going to grab the periphery of the box, pull it in, left click, right click, hit general dimension. That allows me to select those two features, and I tell it 1/8 of an inch. So what the offset does is it just pulls in from a sort of a closed contour or closed geometric figure, and it pulls in, if it can, the same amount all the way around. Alright, so at this point what I want to do is I want to round these off. So this is going to be a very basic box, but it is going to have some features to it which give it some style, or yeah, I guess you could say that. And so I'm going to make some fillets here which are quite large, 1/4 inch in radius, and I'm going to attach them right here. Attach them to the corner, obviously. There they are. So we're going to get a rounded edge there. Okay. So what have I just created? Again, the outside part here is going to be stuff that I'm going to mill away using a contour cut, and it's going to, and this, the blue line here is going to represent the outside of my box. So I'm going to finish here. Now, for reasons that will become clear in a minute, hopefully, I'm going to extrude in this region here inward by 7/8 of an inch, 0.875. Why would I do that? Well, you'll recall that I want to leave a forbidden zone or an exclusion zone right in the middle of my stock, where I'm going to cut this thing in half with a bandsaw, flip one over, and mate it with the other. So if I go in 7/8 on each side, I leave 1/4 right in the center, and I think that's enough to cut it with a bandsaw. Okay, so this is the beginning of my bottom. Now what I want to do now is project this geometry to the other side, and so have this also be the perimeter of my top. And let me show you how to do that if you don't already know. I'm going to create a sketch, but it's going to be on the back face, which is again the top of our container. I'm going to come around here, and I'm going to use project geometry. So if I click here and then click on this geometry here, and then move over and have a look on the other side, you see that I've projected that geometry, that offset rectangle with the 1/4 inch fillets. I've projected it onto the sketch plane on the other side. Okay, so that was easy. And now I can just extrude, just like I did before, inward by 7/8 so that I get something that looks like this. Okay, so we're going to have the bottom right here, the top is here. This is our exclusion zone that we're going to cut with the bandsaw. And just so we're always oriented correctly, this is the front, and that's going to continue to be the box bottom.